MC, make another hit.
This ain't what you want. Project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. Ha! 1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna I just wanna rock. Body yada yada. Shorty got that body yada yada. Hit it once, no time. Set up, you gon' kill my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my size. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely.
Guys, one more while you sleep. You wake up, you get ready to do this video. I'm going to keep it short so that you can finish it before the test. Now, I want you to notice something about these questions. They have the answers to them. I'm focusing on the diagram, okay? So if you want to go over the question, pause the video, read the question, look at the answer. A lot of these answers repeat themselves, but let's take a look at the diagrams. Oh, hold up. For number one, let's read because it's about the cell theory, I think. Let's see. All of the following are true regarding cells, except all cells have DNA. All cells have cell membranes. All cells divide. Not all cells have cell walls. Plant cells have cell walls. Okay? Plant cells. Bacteria have cell walls. But animal cells, you don't have cell walls. Are you a plant? No, you're not a plant. So you're not a bacteria. Do you photosynthesize? No, I don't think so. Okay. Number two, you are absolutely going to have a levels of organization question. Smallest thing is a cell. Then you have tissue. Then you have an organ. Then you have an organ system and an organism. For example, stomach cells. A lot of stomach cells. That makes tissue. A stomach. A digestive system. And then you. Okay? Smallest to largest. All right. Which term okay. Go ahead and pause if you want to read the question and then look at the answer. Okay. I picked these questions specifically because they're very, very important, or students forget the answers or they forget how to do them. Okay. Which organism is considered an exception of the cell theory? The cell theory, all living things are made up of cells. All cells come from pre-existing cells. You came from your mom. Your mom came from your grandmother. Your grandmother came from your great-grandmother. All cells come from pre-existing cells. Okay? All cells have DNA. All right? The exception to the cell theory, meaning the one thing that is not part of the cell theory, is a virus. Viruses are not considered living. So, thank you for all the love of the most recent videos, but you guys are not watching the videos that I have prior. I know it's only like 2 or 3 of them, like 4 of them. But you guys are not looking at the video of the cell. I broke down the cell for like a whole hour. You guys did not see the video. You guys just want to look at questions and practice questions. I get it. And you've probably studied the cell your whole life. But let's go through it one more time. The nucleus controls the cell. It has DNA. Has DNA inside of it. The mitochondria makes ATP energy. The vacuole holds water, waste, and food. These dots right here, they're sometimes also in the cytoplasm. That is the ribosome. It makes proteins. Golgi apparatus, you don't really need to know that. The cell membrane, the outermost layer of an animal cell. It lets things in and out of the cell. The cytoplasm, the jelly-like substance that holds all the organelles. Okay, that's it. ATP energy, cellular respiration, protein synthesis, makes proteins, contains DNA and your chromosomes. How many chromosomes do humans have? 46. How many chromosomes are in sperm and egg? Half, 23. Because when you have a baby, you're only giving half of your DNA. You're not cloning yourself. You're not giving birth to you. You're giving birth to someone who has half your DNA and half the other person's DNA. So you give half. And that's in the sperm and the egg. But we'll talk about that more later. I'm going to pause there so that... Okay. What about this macaroni? What is this? This is the mitochondria. And if you look at the animal cell, here it is, right? The mitochondria. But sometimes they draw it like this, like not in a cell. And what does the mitochondria make? If you don't know this, seriously, I'll get so mad at you. The mitochondria makes ATP energy. You are alive because you're making this constantly 24/7 and never stops. But what do you need to make energy? You gotta eat and you gotta breathe. So what do you eat? You eat carbohydrate, sugars, right? So sugar, glucose, we call it glucose. You gotta breathe in oxygen, so you take in oxygen. And what does it make? If you don't say ATP, okay, it makes ATP, and you also breathe out carbon dioxide and you breathe out water. These are called byproducts, and you breathe this out or you sweat it out. But this is the star right here for this guy, for the mitochondria. Okay, see? What is this? What in the world is this? If you didn't do this, I'm just hoping you did all of these labs. If you did all the labs that I've mentioned in my videos and the one that I'm about to mention now, can you please just thank your teacher and say, thank you. Thank you for preparing me for this test. Thank you for letting us do these labs. Anyways, this is the cheek cell lab. Cheek cell lab. You took a toothpick, you put it in your mouth, you scraped the inside of your cheek very gently, and when you put it under a microscope, you saw these guys. This is a cheek cell. That's a cheek cell. This is a cheek cell. Let me draw a cheek cell. It looks like this. Okay? What is A pointing to? A is pointing to the nucleus, which contains DNA. Okay. Next diagram. All right. What is this? This that looks like snake eyes, these are guard cells found in plant cells. This is what keeps homeostasis. What's homeostasis? Balance, keeping a balance. So plants have to retain water. So when it's really hot out, they close. Okay, to prevent anything from any kind of water from leaving. When there's a lot of water, they open and release. Okay, that's it. Guard cells. This is a plant cell. How do we know it's a plant cell? Not just because it's square. Don't go too much by the shape. But because, one, you see two outer layers. Two, you see large central vacuoles because plants need water. They need to preserve as much water as possible. And they have chloroplasts. These chloroplasts are at the edge always. Okay, so let's label this. D, chloroplast. What happens in the chloroplast? Photosynthesis. What's photosynthesis? Photosynthesis. When the plant takes energy from the sun and makes energy for itself, makes glucose for itself, sugar glucose. Okay. Mitochondria, the cell wall, outermost layer, and then large central vacuole. Those are the three things that plant cells have that you're not going to really find in an animal cell. Then this is the nucleus. These are ribosomes, these little dots, the vacuole, the chloroplast where photosynthesis happens. And then if this test was color, if it was color, this would have been green because it's chloroplast. Okay? That's the plant cell. Organic Molecules. They're found in living things. They have C and H, carbon and hydrogen together. So this is organic. This is organic. This is not organic. That is not organic. Okay? So this is asking, how would the compounds in these groups be chemically classified? Group A is organic, group B is inorganic. So that's why that answer is B. Enzymes is also known as catalysts. This is an enzyme. They don't change. They have to stay in the same shape. They have to lock and key so that they can do their job. Okay? And it started like this, and then it broke down in two. So that's why they say it's digestion. If it was the other way around, that this was two compounds and then it made one, then it's called synthesis. All right, moving on. What human body system is this? Some of you don't know your organs. I know I sound a little mad right now, but it's because, one, I know that some of you left this to the last minute, and that gets me mad. That gets me so mad. You had all this time, but listen, life happens and you're here now, okay? This is the digestive system. This is the stomach, okay? The stomach right here. This is the liver. This is the gallbladder. This is the pancreas. Large intestines, small intestines. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on the whole thing, but I want to spend time on this guy, the pancreas. The pancreas makes insulin. The same way that I told you that mitochondria makes ATP, they're like a marriage. I don't want you to ever forget about the pancreas. The pancreas is an organ that makes insulin. Insulin controls the sugar levels of your blood, okay? When you eat, you are eating glucose sugar. Everything has glucose sugar. Steak, potatoes, pasta, broccoli. Everything has what's called a glycemic index. Everything has something. Proteins have a very, very low or zero, right? When you eat, the sugar is taken to your blood so that the blood can take the sugar to all of your cells so that you can make ATP, right? But the pancreas produces insulin so that it can bring down your sugar levels and you don't have a coma, okay? And people with diabetes have a problem with insulin production in their pancreas. What does the pancreas make? Insulin. What does the pancreas make? Insulin. Shout out to you. Listen, shout out to you because you are here right now on my surprise video. You clicked on it and you're listening to it. I'm so proud of you. Okay, what is this? Peristalsis. Peristalsis is the muscular contraction of your digestive system. So here's your mouth, right? And then you eat something and then you initiate the swallowing process with your tongue. And then the muscles push your food down the esophagus. Then it pushes the food through your stomach, then through your small intestine. That pushing of muscles is called peristalsis. That's it. Blood vessels. The largest one is the artery. The medium one is the vein. The smallest one is the capillary. The artery takes blood away from the heart. Think of artery A away from the heart. The vein takes blade. The vein takes blood to the heart. Capillaries. Capillaries is where diffusion happens. So, for example, let's go back to the intestines, right? In your small intestine, right? You have what's called microvilli, okay? And in microvilli, let me draw one. It's literally made from capillaries and they're one cell thick, one tiny cell thick. So the food that you eat that's in your intestine, they diffuse from high concentration to low concentration. And then there's a capillary in here, right? And then it goes in through the capillaries so easy, so smooth, okay? And then it goes into your bloodstream, and then your heart's pumping, and then all of your cells get the nutrients they need, okay? Next. All right, so here you have a sample of blood. Red blood cells. Red blood cells, they carry oxygen, okay? White blood cells, they're part of your immune system. And they kill pathogens. And then platelets, when you get cut, they come through and they stop you from bleeding. So, to be honest, I don't think you're going to be tested on platelets. And if you are, there's going to be a reading on it. They don't expect you to really talk about platelets like that. Okay, whenever you see a question like this, right, that you have some kind of cell and then you have like something like this or something like this, these are called receptor molecules. And these receptor molecules communicate. They take in chemicals called hormones, and that hormone has to be able to fit lock and key. Just like how we spoke about enzymes, lock and key. This chemical that I'm drawing, we're drawing shapes, right? They don't look like this. We know that they have complex shapes. We know that. But to make things simple, we draw it this way. In order for this chemical to communicate with this receptor molecule, it has to fit. What can fit here in this receptor molecule? Something like this, a chemical like this. So if you have a question that asks you, what fits here? You better draw that circle. If you have something that looks like this, you better draw that triangle. Make it fit. Make them communicate, okay? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is when organisms reproduce only with one parent. For example, this is vegetative propagation. You don't need to remember that. I promise you don't need to remember that. But strawberries, the strawberry plant, they kind of grow off more strawberry plants. So that's asexual because it's one parent. This organism splits into two. Okay. So that's binary fission. All right. That's asexual. Same here. Start with one parent, get two. This is called budding. No. This is sporulation. Budding. Where's budding? There's no budding here. Nope, that's sporulation. That's vegetative propagation. Okay, budding. So let me draw a hydra. There's like this plant that's underwater. And then let me draw the baby. This is the baby. There's a baby growing out of it. And that's budding. Thank God we don't bud. Imagine a hedge is growing up like out of your chest as a human. That'll be weird, but we don't do budding. We do sexual reproduction, which is two parents. Are you ready to talk about reproduction, everybody? Let's do this. The male reproductive system. This is the front view, front. Okay? So if you're the guy, you are standing front view, front. Okay. So B, this is the testes. There's a lot going on here. This is where sperm is made. And this is where testosterone is made, the hormone that makes a man, testosterone. Okay? That's it. That's all you need to know in terms of the testes. The reason why boys have deep voices, have a lot more hair, have stronger muscles, have wider backs, don't have wide hips, don't have a booty, although some men do. It's all genetics. Is because of testosterone, but testosterone makes sperm. Okay? Then we have here what's called the vas deferens. But I promise you don't need to remember that. Okay? The vas deferens is the tube that connects the testes to the outside of the penis. The whole objective of the male reproductive system is to transport sperm to the female reproductive system. Okay? This gland is the prostate gland. And it gives energy to the sperm because the sperm have a long journey to get to an egg in the female reproductive system. And this guy over here, that's the bladder. That's where the urine is found. Okay? All right. Here's the side view, fellas. Okay, here's the butt. The side view. Testes. The vas deferens goes around the bladder. And then the sperm is ejected out of the penis. Now, you have an X here. There is a question that is always asked. I'm going to erase this because they usually do it in the front view. If you cut or block the tubes, which are called the vas deferens, okay, you are not going to be able to transfer the gametes. Gametes are sex cells. For the male, is going to be the sperm. Gametes are sex cells. Sex cells for the male is sperm. Sex cells for the female is the egg. But I don't want to write that down right now because we're not talking about the female right now. If you cut off the tube that transfers the sperm to the outside of the male reproductive system, there will be no fertilization. There will be no baby. Okay? This surgical procedure where men decide to not want to have any more babies is called a vasectomy. So they cut their vas deferens or they surgically tie it in the hopes that when they ejaculate, they do not have the spermatozoa, the sperm. Okay, let's move on. This is how sperm looks premature. So when you look at the male reproductive system, you see how there's testes here, right? You see this area right here? This is the epididymis. Do you need to know that for the test? No. Do you need to know that for life? Yes. Okay. So here, your sperm, if you're a man, is going to look like this, like an egg. When your sperm mature and it's ready to be released outside of your body, it is going to live in the epididymis right here. This section right here, this section, the epididymis. Mature sperm have tails, okay? So you start off with an egg, it then splits into two, and then those eggs are the sperm, I'm not going to call it the egg, that sperm is then going to mature and have a tail. Okay? What's so special about this section? That's where you have the DNA. How much chromosomes do you have there? If humans have 46 chromosomes, they have 23 here because you can only give half to your baby. That's it. Okay. The female time. All right, here we go, guys. Remember, I'm not going through the questions. I'm going through the diagrams. So if you want to take a look at the questions, pause and look over it. Here isn't it beautiful? The female reproductive system. This is the front view. So the front view, okay? A, ovaries. This is where the eggs are found. Every single female in the world, every person that's born female is born with all of the eggs she needs for her lifetime. So ladies, you made your eggs when you were inside of the womb of your mother. The ovaries make eggs, okay? B is the fallopian tubes. Fallopian tubes. Every single month, ladies, you release one egg. It travels to your fallopian tube. It waits patiently for sperm, okay? If the female is sexually active, the sperm will enter the vagina or birth canal, which is D. It goes through your uterus, which is C. And the sperm goes through both fallopian tubes. If there is an egg there, the sperm is going to fertilize the egg. So what happens in the fallopian tube? Fertilization happens in the fallopian tube, okay? The egg is fertilized, and then it makes its way to the uterus, and it implants in the uterus. And then it grows into a baby. And then you see the stomach and everything. But that's what you really need to know. The same question happens for the female reproductive system. If you were to block or surgically close off the fallopian tubes, fertilization will not happen. That's it. That's all you need to know. This is the side view of the female. Egg, fallopian tube, uterus, bladder, vagina, urethra, where women urinate. That's it. That's the side view. Pregnancy, the pregnant view. Birth canal, vagina. This is the uterus, not the stomach. Can we just appreciate the fact that you are grown? You are a grown person. You will no longer say the baby is in the stomach. No one ate a baby, okay? Babies are in the organ, the female organ, part of the female reproductive system that is called the uterus. Uterus, okay? Let's move on. Let me see how much is left. Okay, we're getting close to the end. I feel like I spoke about this. This is fertilization. Okay, measurements. If you by any chance in part D have a question about measurements, this one's easy because it starts right at the beginning of the ruler. But you see how it ends randomly in something like this? You're going to count 1, 2, 2.5, 2.6. This is 2.6. To me, that's 2.6, but the best centimeters, but the best answer for here is B, 2.5 centimeters. Okay, but of course the Regents isn't fair. Of course they're going to give you something fully like not in the beginning of the ruler. Are you going to start from here and say 1, 2, 3, 4? No, you're not. You're not going to do that. You're going to start with what you're given. Okay? So let's see. How much is from here to here? That will give us 1 centimeter. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 10. Okay. So we are going to count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh. This is not going to be easy. Let's at least start with the obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we know it's 8 centimeters for sure. But then we have this section here. And then we have this section here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 4. So it's around 9. It's around, because this can definitely equal 1 centimeter. It's about 9. The best answer is 9. Okay. Lab safety. I haven't seen a question like this in a long time, but you are responsible to know lab safety. Look at this bozo over here. This bozo doesn't have goggles on. Also, this beaker should be pointed away from his face. Okay. Here we have a slide. And why is this a preferred procedure? So when you make a slide, you want to make a 45-degree angle, and then you just let it plop down. The reason why you do this is because it prevents air bubbles. That's it. The microscope. This is something that students always forget. So you have the slide, right? Let's say you're looking right at the slide. That this is you looking. This is your eyeball. Wait, let me try it. Let me give you some lashes. There you go. Oh, and eyebrows. Bushy eyebrows. And a nose. And lips. Okay. This is your slide, right? If you want to make this go, this organism go to the left, you have to turn your slide right. If you want to make this go down, you want to move this up. Okay, so you have to do the opposite, basically. That's it. Is this the last? No, not the last question. We spoke about this before. When this procedure is used to stain cells or to add sugar or to add salt or to add dye. That's it. Okay. If you haven't been paying attention because you've just kind of had this video in the background, it is time to pay attention. This is the part where students forget protein synthesis. You will always have the messenger RNA codon sheet. You do not have to memorize this. So you need to make a protein, right? Now, I picked one that has the blanks, but sometimes this can be filled in and this could be filled in and this can be filled in and you got to fill in then the blanks. Okay? But I picked one that had them all blank. The messenger RNA, you get that from your brain, from your head. So DNA has bases A, T, C, and G. Messenger RNA has U, A, C, G. There is no T in messenger RNA. That's the only thing I want you to remember. In messenger RNA, there is no T. No T. Okay. So A goes with T. C goes with G in DNA, right? In messenger RNA, A goes with U. T, oh, wait. Let me explain something here so that you understand. In protein synthesis, you need to make a protein. You have your cell, right? You have your DNA in the nucleus. The DNA does not leave the nucleus. It cannot do that. Cannot. So, the DNA has to make a copy. That copy then leaves, and it's only one-stranded. That is called messenger RNA. Now that you have the messenger RNA, you can now make a protein. Your ribosome comes through and it starts reading the messenger RNA, and then it starts bringing in the amino acids. And then once the amino acid chain is done, then you have a protein, okay? So here, this is in the nucleus. The DNA cannot leave, so we need to make a copy of messenger RNA. There is no T in messenger RNA, okay? So you have an A. So this is U, not a T. C goes with G. Let me make this bigger. G goes with C. Okay, next. C goes with G. G goes with C. C goes with G. A goes with U. There's no T in messenger RNA. C goes with G. C goes with G. T goes with A. T goes with A. A goes with U. Okay. You got the messenger RNA that you got from your brain. Now you need the amino acid you get from the chart, all right? The first sequence is UGC. First base is U. Second base is G. So we're going to fall here. And then we have UGC. UGC is right here. So the amino acid is CYS. CYS. Next one is GCG. GC, okay, so it's going to be here. G, C, G, A, L, A. Next one, U, G, G. U, G, so U is going to be here. U, G, G, T, R, P. T, R, P. Ooh, P. Next one, A, A, U. A, so it's going to be here. A, A, U, A, S, N. A, S, N. We made our amino acid chain. And then this will give us a specific protein. And this is the answer to all the questions. Guys, we're done with the video. Go and do what you need to do. Good luck, good luck, good luck.